Welcome back, Wolfpack. Frillish here, and this is actually a pretty funny battle because it's not safe for work. Well, technically, you know, the actual battle code says NSFW, which is kind of funny, and I guess that just shows the filth in this battle. It's an absolutely gross battle, and it's just not safe for anyone, but let's go and watch it anyways. So Dan is issuing a challenge, and it's going to be against Drifblim Crobat. This is an interesting development, I will say. So Crobat has like speed support kind of things, damage. It's a nice Pokemon right there. And I guess with that double inner focus, well not double inner focus, but inner focus ghost type, you can't fake this setup out anyways. So it works out really well, and that's gonna be the Bayonet. So Bayonet could get taunted. Crobat could have the quick guard. I've used Crobat. I think it's a pretty awesome supportive Pokemon in certain situations. I never thought about with the Drifblim though. And the opponent goes for the double protect. You never want to protect against a Drifblim. That's the thing. Like, people get mad when I keep showing Drifblim videos, but apparently more people need to watch Drifblim videos so they understand what's going to happen. So that's the evasion right there. That's going to be taunt onto the Bayonet. But since Bayonet didn't go for status, it looks like it wasn't trying to do any prankster thing. So it might be going for that Phantom Force, because it didn't like Sucker Punch or Shadow Sneak either. So that's going to be the Draco Meteor onto Crobat. Good amount of damage, but Crobat looks like he's going to be a speed tank right there. Maybe timid, like 2v2, 2v2 with the hit points. And Drifblim playing it safe. You know, there's a lot of damage right now. You don't want that minimized to not come through, and then that's going to be the defensive gains. And there's the Phantom Force. Interesting thing about Phantom Force, it ignores evasion. So Drifblim needs to start getting some stats into it, or else it's going to be very, very bad, because Bayonet with the stab Phantom Force that's super effective is going to be ferocious, and Hydreigon wants the Crobat off the field, so we'll focus down the Crobat and remove it. Also the power, or the White Herb on that Draco Meteor is pretty nice as well. And Drifblim now double defenses because of the 2 stages of stockpile. And we're going to watch a pretty ferocious hit right here. I mean, the Bayonet Phantom Force, it will not be enough to knock out the Drifblim. And that is also going to be the Citrus Berry, so Drifblim is like the fastest thing ever right now. ×2 speed on the Unburden, ×2 speed on the Tailwind. Bayonet does have the taunt on it, so it can't really out-prankster. And Volbeat has the Tail Glow. That's different. I was expecting, like, if you're going to use that, why not Illumise with the prankster? But there's the Baton Pass. So things are happening right now, and I guess the Tail Glow, like, you can't psych that up or anything, and we go into Frillish. So now we have Frillish with evasion and stuff, going to avoid the Dark Pulse, gets a nice little thing right there, and Bayonet going to use that Phantom Force, going to try to hit the Frillish, and then we're going to see Volbeat with the Bug Buzz. Hey, Tail Glow Bug Buzz! It actually works! And it's not enough to knock out the... Oh man, that's really sad. I was thinking with a +3 super effective stab hit, you should be able to knock out a Hydreigon, but it doesn't look like it. And this Frillish is now the most annoying thing to ever exist. Has evasion, has attract, and Frillish is going to avoid the Phantom Force. Okay. How, I guess, I've never seen that happen. I've never seen the minimize, oh wow, a Nightshade for the guaranteed damage. I've never seen the minimize Baton Pass into an anti-minimize move. So that's going to be the Dark Pulse landing on the Frillish, but the Eviolite makes it way too tanky, and the Tailwind's going to peter out. So really weird things happening right now. So I guess, okay, so the wording on those moves is that it makes it to where if the target has used Minimize. So I guess it doesn't count as that Pokemon using Minimize, it just has the evasion boost. It doesn't have the Minimize tag. Now, if this is, I don't even know if this is like intended. Like, does Game Freak want any Minimize to carry over? Because the stockpile amount doesn't carry over. It's just the raw stats from that Baton Pass. So it's a really weird thing. Oh, there's the Encore. There's the nastiness. There, I was about to say, we got Tail Glow, we got damage, but you wouldn't be a prankster bug if you weren't doing some nasty things like Encore or trying to just prevent the opponent from doing anything. So now Bayonet's going to protect forever. Scald is going to do enough damage to finish off the Hydreigon. And everything's looking to be going everything's going right now. But yeah, I'm still like tossing over that Phantom Force thing. Pretty neat. So Bayonet is going to switch out. Doesn't really have too many other options right there. And Scrafty is going to come in. Very tanky Pokemon matching up against this. And Volbeat. Baton Pass. So Tail Glow, Encore, Baton Pass. Volbeat's doing things as well. Double Baton Pass and doubles. Into the Drifblim. Okay, triple. No, that's still double. Wait. What's going on then? Because Crobat went down. What? Oh man, what's Drifblim going to do with that? Did he just go like Shadow Ball for crazy damage? The Night Slash onto Frillish is also going to be a pretty solid hit. Scald right there onto the Honchkrow. If Honchkrow gets burned? Nah. If but Drifloon's going to minimize. What's going on is like my question. So Honchkrow got the foul play. Foul play is going to connect onto the Frillish. Frillish will survive the foul play though. And Honchkrow going to lose some damage, or lose some health right there. And Scrafty with the Dragon Dance. So it looks like the opponent gambled on that foul play and lost for sure. Because Frillish just doesn't have any offenses. And there's the recover. So that happened. And now Frillish has the recover. What's Drifblim doing in this situation? Like, he's minimizing with the special attack from that tail glow. I'm still really confused by that one. Scrafty's gaining some scariness, and yeah, he does have the Shadow Ball. All right, so Drifblim, go try to do some good damage on that Scrafty. Not very effective hit, but hits pretty hard. We already break the Citrus Berry from the Scrafty in one attack. He's at +2 on those Dragon Dances. Frillish is going to go for that double recover, though. Needs to survive, needs to, like, tank up some crazy hits. You don't want to see something bad like that. And there's the payback. So, ooh, payback going to land on Drifblim. And that's going to be enough to knock out the Drifblim through the minimize right there. Yeah, all that Dragon Dancing and then stuff. And then the Moxie. Wow, this Scrafty's at +3 attack. And the Swagger. So Frillish is going to avoid the Swagger. Going to use the Attract on the Scrafty. Now the Scrafty, that Thug just found love. And we're going to see how that developed. But now we go back into the Volbeat. I mean, Volbeat's kind of a threat. Like, it tail glows and then it uses Bug Buzz and then it hits things pretty hard. So there's the payback. Super effective damage on the Frillish. Wow. Since Frillish didn't do any damage, it does make sense. There's the Bug Buzz onto the Scrafty. Lowers special defense. That's good right there. Honchkrow with the Aerial Ace going to just get the damage onto Volbeat. Volbeat almost going to get knocked out just by the Aerial Ace right there. Hangs on with the Focus Sash, and that's going to be more Life Orb loss, whatever, and then Scald onto Honchkrow. Honchkrow going to go down to the Scald right there. There's just a lot of stuff happening, and Bayonet back on the field. So, Volbeat's going to Encore. Alright, Scrafty, you're stuck using Payback, which isn't doing much, I guess, and then Bayonet's going to Disable. So, disabled the Encore, can still go for the damage. Scrafty's losing special defense. Scrafty has the Payback. That's going to finish off the Volbeat, however. So Volbeat takes a little bit of damage before going down, and it's all Frillish. So Frillish, it looks like we're going to be in a long battle right now. Has the evasion, has the defense boosts, has the Eviolite, has slight damage onto the Scrafty, trying to get the burn in right there. Ooh, the Disable, going to avoid the Disable. The last thing you want is your recover to be disabled. Frillish going to Nightshade, so just wants the Scrafty off the field more than anything. So the Bayonet has Protect, Disable, Phantom Force. So with that knowledge, you understand that he's going to be going for the Phantom Force on like a non-offensive turn, and then it just breaks down into the Scald. So Scald damage on the Bayonet. Bayonet's got the Phantom Force right there, so that's the turn you get that recover in there. That's the turn you try to make it count. Frillish with the Nightshade, not going to get it, and Bayonet going to use the Phantom Force. Phantom Force is going to connect onto the Frillish. Frillish is going to survive, and that's the recover right there. So that 2 turns on the Phantom Force is pretty harsh, and it's just weird, this whole minimize mechanics thing. So Bayonet's going for the Phantom Force. Do you go for that double recover? Did he predict it? What's going to happen right here? Frillish got the Scald. Scald's going to miss, and Bayonet going to whiff the Phantom Force right there, and Frillish went for the recover. So yeah, that minimize starting to pay off in the super late game, as it's just Bayonet and Frillish trying to knock each other down. Frillish is going to avoid the Disable. Scald is going to hit, and I mean, Bayonet takes a little bit of damage right there, so you Scald new Nightshade, and that's going to be the game. Bayonet, though, with the Sucker Punch, doesn't do anything, and it looks like that is going to be the end of this battle. Wild stuff indeed, and a good battle overall. So Frillish, you can stat up any Pokemon and make it work these days, even in doubles, trying to soak up those 2 hits. Got it where it counts. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you guys in the next Fan Fridays.